Content is not only text. Content is an image, it's a video, it's a piece of maybe metadata, a title. Everything you can place on a website is your content.
Welcome to the Marketing Expedition Podcast, an auditory journey through the latest in marketing, branding, and advertising. Now, here's your Marketing Expedition guide, Ray Allen.
On this episode of the Marketing Expedition Podcast, I get to speak with Gomez Montejo, and he is a seasoned digital marketing leader with a strong background in developing strategic marketing solutions for diverse industries such as e-commerce, subscription services, travel, telco, and B2B. Currently, he's serving as the Chief Marketing Officer at NextNet Media, and Max leverages his expertise in data-driven decisions and technology to deliver innovative solutions, fostering collaboration and communication within teams. And we're going to cover a lot about digital marketing, SEO. Gosh, we're going to talk a lot of things that you need to know about. So stay tuned for that. But first, it's time now for our Marketing Essentials moment, the basics that you need to help you continue to build your brand and your bottom line. Okay, so this time I wanted to talk about a process that we do and use at Peppershock that is working pretty well. Of course, there's always little quirks anytime you use any kind of software tool or services of software, as you will. But the thing that we do that people continuously ask me about, how do we do it? What do we do? What services do we use? All those things. And it's my booking tool. So we use a program called Schedule Once through Once Hub. And it's like Calendly or any of those other ones that connect, but we have a lot more versatility with this one. And we can use it to book guests on this particular podcast. So it's pretty automated, and it sends them a follow-up message. It sends them reminders as to when we're going to be recording. It sends them the recording link, and it does all of those things. And then we also have an ability to just send out a link to where people can book 15 minutes of time with me, or they can book an hour, or they can even book it and it automatically connects to Zoom and it integrates with Zoom. So it'll automatically then also put it on our Google Calendars or any calendar that you want, and it sends it to both me and the guest. And then it also follows up with a reminder, and it also gives them a link to reschedule, and it connects with my calendar, and it's pretty seamless, and I love it because it's just no more chasing back and forth of when are you available? When are you available? Now, we do sometimes have to manually, schedule and just to help make that happen. But this Schedule Once tool is super helpful to automate the process, right? I always say measure what you treasure, dump what you don't, and automate what you hate. And this has been a lifesaver for us to be able to schedule time with me. I'm a pretty busy person all the time, so it just gives the open opportunities, and I can set parameters. Like generally speaking, I don't take client meetings on Mondays or Fridays unless it's something that is an event and that I just can't avoid necessarily, or unless I really want to. And sometimes I leave those days open for specific things that I would like to do. So it just helps with the scheduling. It helps. We can set our podcast booking on bi-weekly schedule if we want, if we need to open it up more or close it down. So where we're booked out so far in advance. Anyway, check it out. Go and you can see on our website, we have a link and it's an affiliate link, like full disclosure here. I can get credit where credit is due, but I'm not just endorsing it, I use it and I love it. So we'll put the link in there, but go to peppershock.com and marketing tools is the link that we want to see. So anyway, it's definitely something that's going to help you. You can go to the website, click on the resources tab and get this tool. I'm telling you, it is a lifesaver. The little quirky things that you want to watch out for is just making sure that you book time, especially if it's in person and not at your own office, so that you have some buffer time to travel if you are going to actually end up meeting somewhere else. And you can put buffer time, you can put a half hour, you can put 15 minutes, you can put an hour, so that nobody can schedule time before or after that. So I always have a little bit of buffer time just in case I need to travel, or if people instead want to meet meet up in the middle between where they're at and I'm at if we want to meet in person or on Zoom, and it does it all on Zoom. Of course, you need to make sure that your Zoom account is all up to date and logged in, and then it connects it all. It's just really, really, really helpful. And as busy people that we are, as marketers, as leaders, as entrepreneurs, if you can do things like this to help automate your process in your life, it's awesome. The other thing that we do is we, on the back of my business card, have a QR code that links directly to my booking page, which is peppershock.com/book-ray, RHEA, and it'll go directly to my booking page. And by the way, if you want to book 15 minutes of time with me, I love hearing from our guests and our audience. If you want to book 15 minutes of time with me, go to peppershock.com/book-Ray, RHEA, and spend some time with me. See how the tool works. Tell me what's going on in your world. Give me some feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. Would love to talk with you if you're listening to this and want to get in touch with me and spend 15 minutes of time on Zoom with me and just see how it all automates and how it all flows and goes. And then you can always reschedule if you have to, or I can if I choose to or need to, right? Sometimes things come up. So anyway, with that said, let's get into the interview. Welcome to the Marketing Expedition podcast. This week's guest is Max Gomez Montejo. Welcome to the show, Max.
Hey, Ray. Thanks for having me, and big shout out to you for having me today in your podcast.
Absolutely. Happy to have you all the way from Florida.
from cold Florida these days in winter, as we call it here.
Yeah, a nice 60 degree weather. It's cold, huh?
Exactly.
Well, Max, let's share a little bit more about you and your background and kind of what brought you to the world that you live in today and search engine optimization and what got you started.
Perfect. So I started 17 years ago writing content from different websites down in South America. I was born and raised in Colombia, and then I moved to the States 14 years ago, almost. And then I started my career in digital marketing in different advertising agencies here in the States as well. I ended up working with different Fortune 500 clients, and I fall in love with digital marketing, performance marketing, and then I became the CMO here at Nextend Media. Just for everyone's context, Nextend Media is the powerhouse behind 200,000 business success stories in terms of digital marketing, SEO, and content. So here at NextNet, we're just trying to make sure every company can increase their rankings, their visibility, and connect with the right audience at the right time. So this combination of the passion I have for internet, for digital marketing, plus technology, plus content, just took me here and in this career path that I'm currently at.
Very cool. It's interesting the evolution that's happened over the last 17 years from when you started to now, right? I mean, I remember the ways of the world back then versus what's happening now. We'll have to dig into the differences and things that you do and how you do them. But let's start off with just a basic overview of how you've been able to serve. What did you say? 200,000 clients? Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, we have more than 200,000 clients right now if you combine our all different business units as of now.
Wow. So tell me more. What kind of different services do you provide and how do you help your clients? And 200,000 of them.
Yeah, so we provide different services. We provide a la carte services, which is clients coming here just to buy specific one SKU of different offerings in the different companies we have. Nextend Media has 8 different companies that we've been acquiring or growing from scratch as well. Also, we work with resellers, agencies who come to us to resell SEO services. We are like pretty much their partner when it comes to scaling their SEO actions. And we also work with SMBs. We are very good on working with a small business here in the States, in Australia, in the UK, and Canada, just to name a few of our main DMAs. But the most important part is just we serve them through value. We provide value to every single interaction that we have with them. We are transparent in the way we do things, so we provide the real numbers in real time as well. And the most important part is we have an amazing customer success team that is pretty much connecting with every one of them at the same time. So I think communication, transparency, and value is the key to success in this new world that, as you said before, is been changing as we speak. 17 years ago, we didn't have anything about AI. 17 years ago, we had to sell to our clients why internet was important for them. And now it's completely the opposite. More than 90% of their budgets are spent on digital marketing nowadays. So yeah, so I think we've seen a big evolution in the industry. It's an industry that keeps on evolving every day, but we are happy to keep up with the market as well.
Wow. So, give me an example of something that comes to mind that you are super proud of that you were able to accomplish for one of your clients that paint a picture of what you were capable and able to do for them. What was that? What was that came to mind for you?
Like I like to have moments of delight from our different clients we work with, and it could be a roofer company, it could be a health company, or it could be a Fortune 500 company. They all need those moments of delight when they need to see their rankings and their search engine volume increasing from a month-on perspective. And let me I don't want to get too technical, but I would like to provide a couple of examples. So
Yeah.
before, like maybe 6 years ago or 8 years ago, the most important part from all brands were to be found based on their brand terms. And then we start seeing something that Google called the micro moments, which is the search you are making right now when you have, for example, how to change a tire, how to create a company, how to take this medicine, how doctors near me, like those specific moments of delight from the user perspective. That's where like you can see clients getting happier because they're appearing in front of what their user is trying to accomplish through searches on Google.
Yeah.
And now moving forward to 2024, clients are also wondering how they get in front of ChatGPT or in their ChatGPT results.
Mm.
Let's say, for example, you're on ChatGPT asking them for a recipe, and then you need to use milk. How do you make sure like this brand of consumer goods is going to appear in number one and on number two? So I think those little challenges that we have on a day-to-day basis is what make our offer unique, but also provides a client a moment of delight saying like, wow, now we appear with this keyword. It's not a branded one. It's just a combination of different keywords based on a need the clients have. So based on those needs, we are connecting to the client in the right moment with the right message. So I think that makes me happy that we're helping companies to find their clients, to find their ICP if there's a B2B client, but also to find their moment of real connection with them. So that's what makes me happy of my work on a day-to-day basis right now.
Wow, you just brought up a whole nother way of being able to market your business. I mean, I've heard of voice search optimization,
Yeah.
regular search engine optimization, but now we're talking about AI branded content that Chat GPT or Bard or any of these, well, now they're renaming Bard, but any of these that are coming out that now you can have a specific brand in what the AI generated content spits out.
Yeah. So we are seeing a new way of results in the search engine result page, but also on OpenAI or ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We call it the zero click search, which
Uh-huh.
is pretty much once you search for an expression or a combination of words, and then either Google, Bard, or OpenAI, they're providing the answer in front of you without clicking, without making any click. We
Right.
are forecasting that this year, 20, we're going to see a decrease of organic traffic in an average of 25% versus the previous year. And the answer is because the user is getting the answer in front of those search engines or chatbots or whatever you call it.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So I think now the challenge for the brands is how do they appear in that search with a specific keyword and how they get their business being populated by the chatbot or by the Google algorithm. So I think that's a big challenge right now.
Mhm.
Maybe the user is going to end up clicking on your website, but the user is going to know that your brand is the one that's providing the service, or is providing the content, or is providing more information about what you are looking for. So I think that's the most important one right now. And the other one is the functional searches that we currently do. So one example of this functional search could be once you have, for example, a specific doubt about a brand or about a software or about a day-to-day thing that you don't know how to do, that requires you to go read, to sign up for something, and just to have different interaction with the website. We need to identify those keywords that the users they're using. And it's not only one keyword. Now we're talking about a vectorization of keywords, which is multiple keywords in a sentence. So I think Google, ChatGPT, OpenAI, they're pushing us towards creating a robust way of searching. Before it used to be one keyword or two, now it's just a sentence. We call it a prompt.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, the challenge for the brands is to be able to appear in front of those moments of need of the client. So I think this is changing the ecosystem. The content scene has been changing and evolving since ChatGPT went live last year. So
Yeah.
it's a good moment as well, but there are different challenges and different evolutions and innovations every day.
Yeah, I think there's just so many opportunities to be
Yeah,
able to be a good brand that can be thought of as a, an AI thought leader, right? So that
yeah.
then AI is going to pull on that information that you put on your site and what you can then get chat GPT. Because my understanding is that the content originally is still 2 years old, right? I mean, and sure, it's continuously, doing the machine learning part of it. But when they first created these chat GPTs or open source, they populated everything and it's outdated now. Is that true, or do you know much about that?
Well, that's not 100% true. That has changed in the
Yeah.
last couple of months. So
Yeah.
ChatGPT is offering different layers based on the subscription you pay. So once you
Right.
get on ChatGPT 4 or minus 4, that's how they call it, you get like pretty much up to date results based on like a year or less. It's also offering the possibility of indexing search engine results through Bing. You need to remember Microsoft is a big shareholder on OpenAI.
Uh,
And then the other part is like there are different plugins that are indexing different websites as well. Now ChatGPT is also able to index to your website and scan it and just create the content. I just take the content from there to learn in their machine learning system.
wow.
As a matter of fact, we've seen in the news that maybe OpenAI could create something similar to Google, just to make sure like they compete in the search landscape. That's something. I mean, based on the partnership they had with Microsoft, that's something that's going to be changing as well. That's the first part. The second part is, what's like the possibility of your brand being highlighted by either Bard, Gemini, or ChatGPT? And I think that the answer is we don't know yet. But what we do know is like we can create content, we can create backlinks, and we can create different tactics for your brand and your website to be appearing in those results.
Uh-huh.
We've seen like, and this is something we call it internally in Nextnet Media, we've seen a content inflation right now. What does it mean? A content inflation means, like, for example, I can create 20 articles a month with technology right now, but my competitor can create 30, and maybe their competitor can create 50. And we're going to go on like a process that everyone's producing more pieces of content and more and more and more. But the question here is, are they reading the content? I mean, the user? Are you creating content just for your user needs, or because you want to compete in a never-ending content war? And are you providing value in that content scape? Those are the things you need to be questioning right now. According to our results and according to the different research we made, it doesn't mean that you need to create a specific number of pieces of content on a daily or weekly basis.
Yeah.
The key here is to provide value, to provide authority, for your content to be trustworthiness, to provide expertise. So that's why you start giving another layer of value of the things you do. So I think we're seeing a big shift in the content industry, but also we've seen clients that they don't know how to do it. They think by switching from a human to a machine, they're gonna get quality. And the answer might be not yet. I think we need the best of both worlds. So those are the things that we're seeing as well in the market.
That's really a good point, and to continuously evolve, because I remember, when we first started doing keywords, it was how many keywords could you possibly stuff on a page just to get results, and now
Mhm.
it's sort of the opposite, right?
Yeah,
It's the value of the content, not keyword stuffing, not trying to create as many phrases, and it's got to be conversational, it's got to be useful, and there's other things that continuously evolve too. I mean, in your industry and what you're seeing, what's the difference between what people used to think that you needed to do versus what you should be doing now? What do you think?
I think that's a good question. And in my opinion, I think maybe 5, 10 years ago, some people understood that it was just about repeating the keyword and having a density,
Yeah.
but they didn't care about the quality of the content or the expertise or the way they were creating their authority in the landscape. I think now we have the opportunity to first of all have better signals based on how the user search. Second, the user has understood that we're moving from an only keyword search towards a prompt, which is a combination of different instructions. That means the search is going to be more qualified. So the user is expecting better content on their end.
Yeah.
And I think the third thing is that just we need to realize that content is not only text. Content is an image, it's a video, it's a piece of maybe metadata, a title. Everything you can place on a website is your content. Sometimes we will think content is only as a text. And I think right now we're also seeing the decentralization of searches. Users are searching on TikTok, for example. If you see the centennials, people are searching on Amazon when it comes to different products. We search on social media, we search on Google, we search on OpenAI. So there are different places where the search is happening, and the intention could be different depending on each channel. So I think our responsibility as an internet marketing company and as a SEO company and a backlink company is just to understand how your client searches and provide you with the best tools to hijack that search and be in front of your client. So I think that's a challenge right now.
Yeah. And there's so many different tools out there. Max, do you have
Yeah.
like favorite tools that you use to figure out what keywords people are using or what key phrases people are using? Are there specific tools that you think that our audience should know about that maybe they haven't tried or seen or even heard of before?
Yeah, well, we have, and in our companies with our clients, we're providing something we call the topical authority map, which is we have internal tools that we combine to provide the client the best set of keywords, the
Hmm.
best title for each page, and the different level of keywords they need to be using in their website and the process to do it. Then there are different trends, like different tools. We partner with Href or SEMrush as well. Those are big companies that are providing great keyword understanding. Surfer SEO is another one that could work from different avatars. But I think, and this is a question I always get asked, like I think technology is not gonna do the help for you. It's not gonna do the task for you. I
Right.
think technology is gonna be the enable once you understand the strategy you want to accomplish. And people come to us for both cases, and we feel comfortable in both cases. So I
Hmm.
think it's also about the strategy. And you can have 20 tools, but if you don't have a strategy, if you don't have a clear roadmap, the tool is not gonna work. So
Right.
I think before that is like, okay, what's the strategy? What are your needs? What's the client you wanna go after? And I think that's a great combination of in our different companies within Next and Media that we can help your audience or your clients to find the best keywords, prompts, and also the best content and the best backlinks as well.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. And you can use ChatGPT to ask questions of it and
Yeah,
see what it comes up
exactly.
with.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the other day, I was talking to a brand, and then we were playing with ChatGPT about this is a consumer goods brand, and then we asked one of the ingredients the brand for the recipe we wanted to make, and the brand didn't appear in front of the user. So the brand manager was like, "How much do I need to spend to be number one on when users ask that question?" And I said, "It's not about how much money you spend. It's just about the kind of content and the relevance you are placing in your website, and maybe you don't have relevance at all." So I think this is just going to be an interesting moment of brands to understand if they're providing expertise, if they're providing authority, if they're creating content that's useful and helpful. Sometimes we forget about it.
So it's always fun because people are like, yeah, we've played with ChatGPT or we've played with, now Gemini and all the different ones. There's like every day I get new tools sent to me or people want me to try or have you checked this out or, there's just so many different things now. It's hard to kind of I don't know, whittle them down to what's working, what's not. But what are some of your favorite? I mean, I know you mentioned the paid version of Chat GPT, but what are some of those tools that are new that you're still kind of investigating and trying to see what is a good use case for them that you've played with, or think, yeah, I'm definitely going to adapt this tool or that tool? What are some things that come to mind?
So I will say, like, for us within Next and Media, we have an AI company that's called Copymatic. Copymatic is a company that help you produce different pieces of content. We're about to release in a couple of weeks different autonomous agents so we can automate the whole SEO process
Uh-huh.
from end to end. And I think that tool for your listeners could be a good one. And then it's just more about what your needs are. I think it's also to understand that we can play with AI as much as we want, but again, we need to give them a purpose and give them a North Star. So I will say sometimes it's better just to reach out to us and say, okay, this is pretty much my biggest need right now. This is the avatar I want to go after. This is how I'm struggling in the internet landscape. How can you help me through organic actions? Because sometimes the answer could be as easy as, let's start doing high quality backlinks that we can offer through our different companies, because backlinks are becoming an essential tool when they are done properly, based on high quality websites, and that's something that we have. And there's a new infrastructure and a new landscape that some people are not even aware of. So I think it's just more about what's the strategy you want to accomplish, what's the tactics you have, what's your end goal, and we can help you. Sometimes we tell clients, I think your long hanging fruit is just to go and increase the search volume of, like, the number of searches you get through different keywords, because maybe you have a low one, and we can give you, maybe you can put it in front of more people if you understand how they search. And
Mhm.
those little quick wins, I think sometimes they help us move the needle with the client on a faster way, and then we can create a roadmap from the next 12 months. But I think that's more from a day-to-day perspective as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm sure I don't need to throw a bunch of statistics and percentages at you for you to know that most of us spend too much time staring at screens. Being able to consume your content on the go means that your clients and customers can listen and learn from you without being tied to their desks. With Hello Audio, your customers can put their phones down, power off their PCs, close their MacBooks, and get the information they need from you while they're, let's say, walking a dog, doing a jigsaw puzzle, washing the dishes, maybe when they're in the car or exercising on the treadmill, sunbathing in their garden. Well, Hello Audio makes it incredibly easy for you. No more hours spent trying to figure out tech settings or trying to make a square peg fit into a round hole. You can click publish on an audio feed in a matter of minutes and have control over who accesses what. So visit peppershock.com/offers and sign up for a free trial of Hello Audio. Let's change gears just a little bit. I want to know, what is it that you see happening in the near future? Like, what kind of things can you tell our audience that they need to be watching out for or aware of, or things that are going to come up that they need to know about?
Yeah, I will say the first one is, and it's very simple. They, or if someone is listening right now and they have a business or they work from a big enterprise corporation, the most important part is just to understand what's the integrated marketing efforts they're doing. Because sometimes in this year, 2024, I still seen companies working in silos that are not even talking to each other. So they have like different barriers when it comes to go to market, and
Mhm.
they're not lean in terms of the whole process. When they combine the lead, the contact, the customer, it takes different time, and there are like different engines that they don't talk to each other. So I think making sure everything is integrated, everything's connected, that's the most important part. There's another part for those who are on retail that I've seen a huge trend is something that it's called retail media, and it's just how we start leveraging the different retail groups in the world to start getting omnichannel experiences. That's something that we didn't have in 2022, 2023, and it's evolving very fast. So I think that's important as well. The other part is pretty much the data, and how you are, if the company is unifying all the data into one single signal. Still, we've seen companies that they don't have any data that tells a story, or they're struggling to connect different platforms because, again, maybe they were thinking more into the platform and rather than into the solution or the need. And the last one will be like the team. I think even though we are talking about technology, it's all about humans. We're still being humans. We're still talking humans to humans. Sometimes I say, yeah, we could be in a B2B environment, but at the end of the day, there's a human who's making the decision. So we need to provide the basic information. Sometimes we forget about it because we are too busy thinking about the tools. So I think the human approach is just make sure like you're connecting, you're following up, you know who that person is, you're providing moments of delight, and then you can help them move their business according to your needs. So I think those could be like the key actions that I'm seeing in different brands as well.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely areas that people need to be aware of and pay attention to even more now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but like I think that's you just nailed it, right? I think the most important part is we are fighting in this ecosystem to get the customer attention.
Yeah.
And now that spam is just very limited. However, once the client or the customer they see value in the brand, they are willing to spend hours with you if they are seeing like you're providing quality and you're providing amazing moments of delight. So I think that's important to understand. Like maybe the attention span is really short, but once they see value on your end, they're going to increase that attention with you. So yeah, we're fighting. Everyone is fighting again for the attention of the consumer, but it's just the one who provides quality and value, the one who's going to build it and get it in a faster way than the others.
Right. Right. Do you think that, I mean, marketers today, we have lots of ways to go about thinking about the strategy and the plan and the keywords and all of the things that we have to think about when we're trying to improve any business's, SEO rankings and visibility online and all of the engines out there that are trying to, whether it's AI or Google or any of the search engines and all of those things. Do you think that at some point there's going to be a streamlined process? Because it seems like everyone has their own way of doing things. Do you feel like there's like kind of maybe some industry standards that might come from this whole process of where everyone's kind of doing their own thing in a multitude of different ways? Do you feel like that maybe at some point some things can be streamlined and not just streamlined, but like standards that are set that everyone can, somewhat abide to? Or is it still going to kind of somewhat feel like a free for all?
I don't think there's one size fits all.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I
Yeah.
think it depends on your company, it depends on the products you sell, and it depends on your audience. But I do believe there are benchmarks that we can follow. There are like a checklist, and it's like when a pilot is gonna take off a plane. There are
Right.
different checks they need to have.
Yeah.
So I think business need to have their checks, which is the easiest one, which is appearing on different search engines with your brand and the name of your brand,
Yeah.
up to being discovered by the highest upper funnel search when the brand is not immersed in that equation. That could be from simple to advanced.
Mm-hmm.
Having a website that indexes both desktop and mobile with a great web page speed. That's as easy as that one. That's a big standard. And
Yeah.
we've seen in the different technical SEO audits that we're doing, we've seen brands that pretty much they don't have anything in terms of the page speed. And it takes 50, 45 seconds to load.
Yeah.
Again, if we were fighting for the consumer attention, we need to have a streamlined process that everything loads fast. So again, those are little quick wins that some people forget because they are thinking of the next big thing, whereas there are checklists that they need to follow.
Uh-huh.
So I will say like, yeah, it depends on the go-to market depends on your strategy, depends on your industry, depends on your brand, competitors, but also there are minimum standards that you need to fulfill and make sure like you go after them. Otherwise, it's gonna be a hard time for the brand.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit more about backlinks because those are super important in SEO. And, first of all, for those that don't understand what backlinks are, maybe give just a broad overview. But then I always am fascinated and curious on how to continuously build backlinks in a way that's meaningful and not just like spammy, if you will.
Yeah. So I think the most important part here is The most important keyword here, I will say, it's quality. But let me just give some context to your audience. We refer, or we every time we say a backlink, we are talking about an hyperlink from other web page that's pointing to your page.
Yeah.
And according to Google and different standards and different criteria in the past years, every time someone is pointing your page in their content towards your domain, it's a high signal of quality. So
Mhm.
let's say if I'm selling shoes and then my website is appearing on an influencer webpage about talking about my shoes, Google thinks, or the search engines think, and AI think that backlink is it makes sense, and second comes from a high source, and it makes sense, and it's giving more quality to the domain.
Uh,
So with that being said, we're trying to partner with top tier partners in each industry. We have more than 20,000 partners on the internet landscape that we can create backlinks from. But those partners have been vetted in a process where we, first of all, we make sure that they do exist. Second, that they're not PBNs or something that is just selling trash. Third, we make sure like we have a high indexability rate. For example, we have like a 95 to 99% of on the indexability in our backlinks as a next media. Also, we provide replacements. If something for some reason that link's not working, we can provide you with a replacement if you're one of our clients. But the most important part is we take backlinks very seriously, and we believe this is just a way to put you in front of the top niche websites of your industry and your category. So I think if you are listening today and then you're not doing backlinks in 2024, you should be asking, okay, how do I do it right now? Because maybe you're missing one part of a organic ecosystem that's very important. And that's something that we've been doing for more than 16 years as Next Media. So yeah, I think that's the quality and that's the importance of backlinks in a modern world as we speak.
yeah. Yeah. No, I think definitely being able to continuously build those backlinks and making sure they're legit. And you said something early on in that answer that was really important is being able to link with other, higher authority sites that then can evaluate and lift your own site because of the people or, websites that you're affiliating yourself with, which is, I think, huge, right?
Yeah, yeah. And in every language and in every part of the world, there are high authority websites that could be a good point of reference for your domain.
Yeah.
And maybe you're not even aware that those exist. And we have clients in different ranges in different industries. But let me tell you, the travel industry, the health industry, even the cannabis industry, like all those industries around the world, they require backlinks.
Hmm.
And now that we're going in a hyperinflation moment, backlinks are becoming more relevant because that could be the easiest way, not the not from a time perspective, but from a day-to-day level, just to start being noticed by either OpenAI or Google or Yahoo Bing, you name it.
Right.
And I think that's something that you need to have like a plan. Let me give you some color. One of my clients, big enterprise client, a company here in the States, they're allocating pretty much between 20 to 30% of their media spend towards backlinks. Before it used to be like 2 or 3%. And I'm saying from the working dollars on a media buying perspective.
Hmm.
So if you are listening today as well, you can start also leveraging backlinks as another channel from a paid perspective that you should incorporate in your strategy. So I think that's something a good recommendation for you as well.
Well, when you say that, when people are spending money on getting backlinks, what are they specifically buying? What kind of sites will, serve up backlinks, if you will? Is it, is it ads? Is it articles? Is it maybe a combination of those? But give me an example of how I can pay for a backlink.
So we have different things. So we have different offers when it comes to backlinks. We can have guest post, which is just going to different posts of your niche content, and we have a partnership with the other brand, and then your brand appears in the keyword.
Yeah.
The other one could be also what we call link insertions, which is making sure we pivot from existing articles that have been created in the past with good ranking and good authority that we can leverage for the brand. That's something that we offer as well in Next Media. And the other one is like we can do things just to improve your domain rating or your domain authority.
Hmm.
Sometimes Google will give relevance in an organic perspective to those who have a higher rating or a higher authority. So we create a strategy. We find the best partners for you. We present the list of the potential partners. We create the content for the backlinks in terms of the anchor text and so on.
Hmm.
So we help you from A to Z in the process, and then we provide reports and we explain to you your performance on a monthly basis. That's what our campaign managers are doing. So I think there's a huge actions to be done on the backlink landscape,
Yeah.
and it depends on whatever you want. But the most important part is when you come to us, we provide you the guidance. And then sometimes we've seen clients telling us they want to spend X amount of dollars. And then we say, no, we should leverage 50% in backlinks, 30% in content, 20% in maybe some technical actions. We want to make another bunch of money in local SEO. So we want to make sure we are addressing every single part of this
Yeah.
search equation, not only backlinks, but backlinks, local SEO, technical SEO, content, and other tactics as well.
Right. You've got a whole bunch of different strategies to make it
Yeah.
all sing and work so that you get the results that you want, so you can get to the top of the page, to the top of the results, top of the and voice too, right? I mean,
Yeah.
voice is another part of this, and being able to be what Siri or Google Home or any of those, serve up, right?
Yeah, and also depends on your audience. We've seen voice search to be very popular on demographics from 45 years old or older, for example.
Huh. Interesting.
And maybe that's a high-end customer for specific industries. And the way they're searching is just providing a sentence, not only a keyword. And if you don't understand that sentence, maybe you're not even appearing. But remember, we talked earlier about zero-click search, which is the results is in front of you. So
Yeah.
maybe we've seen like pretty much an average of 5 out of 10 people when they search on Google, they leave without clicking on a website because the answer is in front of them.
Yeah.
So I think and then you can create actions to be placing that answer from a bar, Gemini, or whatever you call it on the Google landscape.
Hmm.
We can help you doing it. So I think you're missing opportunities to connect to your audience in moments of truth. Because when they search your brand, it's because they've been impacted or they've seen your brand before. But we're talking here about how you connect with new users.
Yeah.
And the best way is to be present on those moments of needs. So I think that's something that's changing as we speak as well.
That's awesome. Okay, what advice would you give to somebody that is looking to get into your industry, or, wanting to, I guess, start on a career path into SEO, AI, I mean, all the things that you do? What would you tell them?
I think that there's something that I really love about this industry, and it's and the people I work with, and it's the level of curiosity you need to have in this industry. If you sometimes like you need to have passion. You need to be a passionate individual about what you're doing, even if it's for your own brand, your personal brand, or the company you work with. You need to be passionate about understanding how your end customer could search for you, providing value to your audience through different content actions you can create. The other part is just to understand that on top of everything is the strategy and the objectives from your business that you need to accomplish. Sometimes we tend to talk about technology only.
Oh,
And every time I'm also a professor in different universities,
oh,
and every time I talk to different students, they're talking about social media, they're talking about Instagram, they're talking about technologies.
yeah.
What I try to talk to them is like, before we start diving into the social world, the social media world, whatever, what's your strategy? What do you want to accomplish? Do you understand who's the client you want to reach out to? It can take time, but it's important for you to be aware of that one. And then the last one will say you need to fail. If you don't fail, you don't make any progress sometimes.
Right.
And let me just be a little bit vulnerable here with you and your audience.
Yeah.
I'm an only child, and I was used to win since I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And no, it was only until I started losing some things that I started seeing value of the things I was doing and changing my playbook and changing everything to accomplish a better result. So
Right.
when you lose, you're learning. It sounds bad, but you learn, and be ready to lose. Sometimes it's part of the process. It's part of the equations. I like stoicism a lot, and there's one sentence that says, "Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life." So I think it depends on where you want to be placing which part of this sentence. So it's all up to you. But yeah, you're gonna fail. You're gonna have moments of turbulence, but you're gonna go after. And I'm 40 years old right now. I wish I had maybe I had this advice before, but it's not only until you go through that you don't understand
Right.
everything about this.
That's good advice for sure. And I love that you also teach students. It's good. Once you've had years of experience, it's good to pass on the knowledge to others and
Yeah,
allow them to leverage what you know, right?
yeah. I used to teach. So a couple of years ago, I started teaching in undergrads.
Mhm.
That was tough. That was a very tough one, just to keep them entertained.
Yeah.
So I decided to only teach on executive education, and I like to talk to professionals about digital marketing. And usually, I get like different students where they are on sales, maybe on logistics, on the fulfillment part of their company, not even with a marketing background,
Mm.
but they realize they need to start understanding this marketing actions and this playbook and the whole media, SEO strategy, you name it. So I like because it's just to be able to provide your knowledge to help someone,
Yeah.
but also you get questions and then you get challenged by them. So I think it's a win-win for both of us.
Yeah, we both get to learn. I get to learn from my students just as much as they get to learn from me. That's for sure. I love
Yeah,
that.
exactly. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Max, tell people how they can reach out to you if they're interested in getting more in SEO and the latest, and best practices and things that you can do for them.
First of all, they can reach out to me on the NextNet Media website, which is www.nextnetmedia.com. Also, you can go to on LinkedIn. You can use my name, Max Gomez Montejo. Uh, you can go on Google and search for my name. I'll be there as well with my LinkedIn page and the Next Media page, of course. And if you have questions, doubts, you can reach out to me on those channels. Also on Instagram, you can send me a message and I'll be happy to connect with you as well.
Excellent. Max, any final thoughts that you want to share with our audience? Anything else that we didn't already cover that I didn't ask you yet?
No, I think that's we talked about different things in this industry, but I think the last piece of advice I wanna leave on the table today is just be ready to change. Be ready to approach change from a not personal perspective, but from a daily perspective. Sometimes I've seen teams and companies where they are like resisting to change,
Mm.
suffer a little bit. So be happy that change is happening in your industry. Be open to change. Because that's gonna make you feel it's gonna at the beginning it's gonna be maybe you're gonna struggle a little bit, but 3-4 months down the road you're gonna see the results of that change. So that's a constant in an industry. So expect change and embrace it and ride and go with it.
Yeah, that's the old adage. The only constant is change.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, correct.
Well, thank you so much, Max.
Thank you, Ray, for having me today in your show, and looking forward to meeting soon again.
Yes, absolutely. And for those of you listening, the best thing that you can do for Max and I is share this with others that you know that need to hear what Max had to share with us today. And of course, the best compliment you can give us is a review on any of the platforms that you use to listen to this podcast. And until next time, everybody, enjoy your marketing journey.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Expedition podcast. Want to continue the journey? Don't miss out on new episodes. Subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. Wouldn't it be great if there was one place you can go to get all the latest information and tips about marketing and advertising? The Marketing Expedition community is that place. People like you gather in our online community to build relationships with others and find the latest marketing trends, tactics, tools, and technology. We help you build your brand and your bottom line. Start your adventure today. Visit themarketingexpedition.com to find out more.